What is up, Legion? What is up, heathens? Rev Avi here, checking in live for the Magic Quarantine Talk. What's going on, people? I am here. So, it seems like it's been forever. It seems like we're not connecting as much because the live videos aren't as frequent, right? It's weird. But I am still here. Of course, Bran is doing lives also now. But we are still here. So, of course, we're going to take a few minutes before we get started with our chat tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about the gods. What are the gods? What the hell are the gods? What is that concept of the gods? Where does this even come from? We're going to talk about all of that tonight. All of this sort of stuff, the gods in general, okay? And try to give a clear understanding for everyone that is out there in the internet world, okay? So I'll take a few minutes before I get started like I always do. And if you have friends in the Facebook group where this video is, please tag them so we can get them on this live. And then, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, heart, all that good stuff. Join us on Discord if you guys aren't on there for the awesome voice chats when we do have those. Everybody has a voice on Discord, not just me. Okay, so I'll take a few minutes, give people a chance to jump on here, and then we'll jump right into it, and we'll get into our topic for tonight, which I really feel is a great topic because understanding the answer to this question, like what are the gods? What are the gods? What is that? What does this even come from? And what is the understanding that most people have or should have of this stuff on this path? That when you have that clear understanding, that's going to help you, find your own understanding in depthly. Okay, to help you find clarity in the things that you do. Okay, so before we get started, I'll take a few minutes and give people a chance to get on here. Of course, drop a comment if you're on here. Hit the like button so I can see who's there. Let me get my comments on the screen so I can see. All right, cool. So we got about 4 people on here now. What's up, guys? I'll just go ahead and jump right into this. So we're talking about the gods tonight, right? Where does this all come from? So, of course, most of us that end up on this path come from a right-hand path type structure. We talk about that all the time. So this goes back to understanding that process of religious deprogramming, right? Because it's hard to come out of like right-hand path thinking or religious like thinking and then just jump into a different line of thinking right away. So you have to go through this process of religious deprogramming. So this question should be an important one, and that is, what the heck are gods, right? What are the gods, and what is the mystery behind this? Okay, so with the occult, and gods in particular, with the occult, you're going to come across, of course, the 2 schools that we talked about in one of the other lives, which is the believers, right? Then you're going to have your atheists. Now, in between the believers and the atheists is sort of where we exist, which is test everything and believe nothing, right? So we're in the process of testing and trying to understand this reality in which we exist. And if you try to do that earnestly and honestly and try to seek answers, you're going to find a lot of questions and stuff like that arise that don't go in line with what they tell you. You're going to figure out that you're being lied to about a lot of stuff. It's not just Jesus and church and all of that shit. You're not going to go to hell if you commit a sin or something like that. It's all just a bunch of bullshit. And so you start to come to these questions, right? And so with that in mind, the idea of just being a religious believer is not the way that you should operate on the left-hand path. This is the opposite of that, okay? This is the path of questioning, right? Of questioning to seek answers, okay? And so when we're talking about like things like deities, okay, gods and deities and stuff like that, to the believer, this is something that's literal. They're talking about a guy in the sky moving around chess pieces, making decisions, whatever their chosen deity is. They believe that it's a literal thing that exists. Whereas on left-hand path and in the practice of occult arts and magic, we understand these things to be what is called archetypes. Okay, now if you've never heard this word before, a archetype is basically something that represents a certain aspect of yourself or your reality that you feel, okay, is in control of something. So with understanding from a magical perspective, an archetype should be something that represents an aspect of yourself specifically, because on this path we are our own gods. Okay, we're not in the process of worshiping something. We're in the process of elevating our own spiritual consciousness, our own self image and self power, and all of that sort of thing, right? We're trying to move our own consciousness into higher levels, and move beyond this physical understanding just by itself. And so when you try to do that, okay, you have to be able to sort of look back towards the beginning. Okay, before there were structured religions like Christianity and Catholicism and stuff like that, there were pagan religions. And then if you look back beyond that, you run into animism, right? Being the first structured sort of thinking there was, which was just looking at animals and, seeing them as representing various aspects of the person, right? So for instance, like the concept of a being that is humanoid, that has wings, something like an angel, or just the idea of it, a demon or a humanoid thing possessing wings. The oldest representations of something like that come from like ancient Egypt and stuff like that. So you start to see the representations of like Isis with the wings, and she has like the wings of the hawk, or of the vulture, which is the biggest flying bird, right? And she possesses those wings, which represents the nurturing and caring, the highest flying, being able to see all and care for all, right? The mother image. This is a archetype that represents the feminine nurturing, right? This represents something, an aspect of a person that really exists, which is you, okay, or me. As a father, I have that nurturing aspect as a parent, right? And so everyone can have these various archetypes be a different part of themselves. And this is what the gods represent, right? So it doesn't matter if you're looking at it, if you want something that has the aspects of like air and fire, like we were talking about the elements in another live. If you want something that corresponds with the elements of air and fire, then we start looking towards Set, right? Set being the Lord of Fire. And people will say, well, that's evil, right? Like looking at Baphomet, this is another image that is often represented with fire, right? Looking at that, they say, well, that represents, Set is evil because, he's angry and stuff like that. But Set is sort of a protector and loves to brawl. He's like the fire is associated with Mars and war, and that element of fighting. So you could think of it more in less like something that's dark or evil, and more like something that works in the aspect of the immune system. Okay, the immune system is not evil, but it fights all the time to keep you healthy. You need Set. You need air and fire. You need those dark and light aspects to be in balance in order to manifest the true aspects of what each archetype represents. Okay, you have to understand things in depthly and understand what they represent for you. Okay, and that's what gods truly are. So, like when you look at something like that, and you look at the Baphomets and the various archetypes, whichever ones you choose to associate yourself with. For some people, they like Isis. For me, I love Lilith, and some people are terrified of Lilith. But for me, Lilith represents that dark subconscious aspect that exists within each person. And it's dark, and it's mysterious, and it's magical, and most people can't even see it. Some people don't even believe that it actually exists, right? And that brings me to my book sale. So I am having a book sale for my newest book, which is Demonism, Phantasmagoria of the Mind. Okay. And for this sale, anyone that purchases this book, which is massive, this is a massive tome. And I will tell you what this is about. Demonism is about sex magic. This is about the highest form of magic and the attainment of, true magical power and tapping into true magical energy with a partner. Okay. So if you've never heard of anything like that before, then it's a great book to take you into that topic. And of course, everything that I teach here is based on real psychology and science. So you're going to learn it from the aspect of something that is applicable versus just things that you can believe in. Okay. So anyone that purchases a copy of that book gets a free copy of Mesmerism, my book Mesmerism, The True Powers of the Witch, which is going to teach you all of the techniques that I learned, okay, in various schools around the U.S., on how to apply hypnotic and mesmeric techniques, okay, and how to be successful with this stuff and really use it in a spiritual aspect to have true magic that you can experience, okay? So we're talking about being able to actually warp someone's reality, including your own, okay, into the experience dynamic that you desire. And I hope that that makes sense. That will be the highest form of magic, right? To create change in accordance with the will, okay? So I'm going to shut up for just a minute and then I'll dive back into this and I will take some questions, okay? I'm going to take some questions for me, guys, and look at some of these comments. What's up, Donovan? What's up, guys? I see you checking in now. Rhino says a god is an idea or ideal personified, if you will. Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. He was saying to go along with the winged person, look at Freya, her cloak of falcon feathers. Exactly. And that's all the comments I see. I'm not seeing any questions, but shoot them in there if you have them. But that's the the concept of the various archetypes or various gods that exist. It doesn't matter if you choose the Greek gods, okay? It doesn't matter if you choose archetypes from the Egyptian or Sumerian, archetype list. Doesn't matter if you work with the 72 Goetic demons or whatever your preference is. Understand what the archetypes are and what they represent for you, and then turn it into something that's applicable in your life, and that's when you'll be able to have the true magic. That's what the gods are for. That's why you have the statuettes like the Baphomet and the various things around to represent your various deities and the various aspects of that thing to help you connect with that. That's what those are for. These are all tools that you're using to help your mind tap into that thing, okay? And so the archetypes are everything to do with you, okay? These are aspects of yourself that you can conjure out. And so taking it even further than just, like I said, belief structures and having it be, for instance, the intellectual part of a person being represented by Thoth or something like that, you can see it in a different sort of light to how you can manifest this and what a lot of people like to do ritualistically. So we're talking about like invocation, evocation, possession, okay? Getting into that level. So the thing is the archetypes can become characters that can possess you or that you can possess. Remember, as above, so below. So if something can possess you, you can also possess it. And if you look at your characteristic archetypes as things that you can also possess, then you want to elevate them. You take for instance, the intellectual aspect of yourself and see it as Thoth. Then you can connect with it on that level. You're connecting with your own subconscious, which is manifested as Thoth. Okay, and then you can connect with that various aspect of yourself to the point where you can possess it, and you also can have that energy within you. And I hope that makes sense. Okay. So this is what some people like to really consider as the high magic or possession or something like that. Having a character that you create or an archetype that you create, and it doesn't have to be one of the ancient gods or something that someone else has already created either. This can be a character that you totally make up yourself, okay? Having a archetype that you create or that you connect with and then you bring to life, okay? You possess it or it possesses you and you bring it to life, okay? That is the concept of this, and that is the ultimate goal and the elevation, right? You have a higher versions or one higher version, whatever your preference is. I like to have multiple versions. I'm always ever changing, so I like to have multiple beings and versions and stuff of myself that I'm connecting with on a deep level, and that's what allows me to manifest the magic so intently, okay? So I hope that makes sense. You can create your own characters. They don't have to be just things that you've seen already on the earth. Remember that all this stuff comes from mind. Reality comes from mind, okay? So I'm going to shut up for just a minute and see if there are any more questions. All right. because I've been talking in the 17 minutes range. Okay, so if you haven't seen the book sale, check the announcements. I'll make sure to type a comment in it or something, or repost it so you guys can find it and all that stuff. But if you do purchase a copy of my book, you get a free copy. I'm throwing in free gifts. They're all going to be signed. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So grab a copy if you haven't seen it yet. It is very unique. My work is very, very unique and unlike any other books that I have seen on the market. It is very, very different. Okay. So with that said, I am going to, like I said, open up for a few questions here before I get out, before I jump out of here. Let's see. Where's my water? There's water.
Oh, crap. I'm sorry. I was too busy listening to what you were saying.
It's all right. Brand's like, laser focused.
I will go get that.
But yeah, so what's up, Izzy? What's up, guys? What's up, Rhino? I see you out there. Drop a comment, guys. What are your thoughts on this? A lot of people, and this is where this is what my first book was really based on, the experience that a person can have with the gods. That's why I wrote my first book, Semita Deora, okay? Which is just Latin for the Path of the Gods. And it's magic demystified. It's supposed to demystify the concept of magic. What is this stuff about? Can you really connect with, a spirit or the spirits or gods so deeply that they can manifest within your life? Yes, you can. Okay, but still understand that this is a process of your subconscious doing it. Okay, go ahead.
Mule or beer? Which would you prefer?
Mule. So, it doesn't matter if you how you do that thing, right? It could be a pendulum, it could be dowsing rods, it could be a Ouija board. You could do it a number of ways. You could do it with tarot decks. You could do it with playing cards. Divining can be done with everything up to just staring at the clouds, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath. This can all be methods of divining and connecting with that thing. It's all just about that mental connection and how deep you can go into that thing. And I hope that makes sense, okay? That's what's going to allow you to do that, all right? Okay, so I'm seeing some comments and stuff come in. Let me look at this. Back up a bit here. Izzy says, I want to connect my life force to the 9 bodies and elevate. Well, not connect, but reactivate. So Izzy's talking about the 9 bodies, which I teach in Semita Deora, the 9 bodies as taught in Egypt that a human possesses. So the Egyptians, when they had their biology of a person, right, they explained the person as having 9 bodies. And then that was the totality of a person. It wasn't just one physical body. You had 9. And so that's what Izzy's talking about, is connecting more with the 9 bodies and understanding them more. And you should be understanding that you're a multifaceted person is very, very important. Okay. Up into tapping into the dream level of reality and stuff like that. A lot of people don't even have dreams nowadays, let alone lucid dreams. And also they definitely aren't having dreams that involve other people or being able to do things like dream sharing. That's sort of a lost technology to a lot of people nowadays. They wouldn't even believe it. Okay. Rhino, books are simple and easy to understand, worth checking out. Even if you read it and give it to a friend, super informative, but easy to read. Thanks, dude. Yeah, I try to make sure that all my books are very, written very in with very simple language. Let's say it in that context. Okay. I don't feel it's necessary to use a very elusive vocabulary or something like that. I don't need to make myself seem smarter than I really am. I want it to be very, very understandable for anyone, regardless of their intellectual level or perceived intellectual level. Yeah, right. Right. I want a mule or beer. Me, I want a mule beer. Izzy says, dreams coming back, actually, LOL. Cool. So we could talk about dream recall a little bit if you would like. Wow, that was fast. It was like faster than the damn restaurant. Thank you. So we could talk a little bit about dream recall before I run out of here. So I've been on for about 21 minutes. Yeah, we'll kill the last few minutes with dream recall. So some things that really help with that, okay, with dream recall, with all that sort of thing, is understanding, the concept of Moloch. And this goes with sacrifice, right? I love using the ancient demons and stuff like that to represent these aspects. You have to understand this. The concept of sacrifice. So if you want to have better dream recall, not only should you have a journal, and I see your comment there, you got your dream journal going, which is something that you have to do. You have to dream journal, but sacrifice. Okay, and now I'm not talking about going out and killing a chicken or some shit like that. I'm talking about sacrificing various things to trigger the dream. So, for instance, it takes an incredible amount of effort to actually do reality checks, and then to attach those reality checks with something that's a trigger, like pain. So, for instance, I've quit smoking a lot, and then I picked up smoking again a lot. One of the tricks that I use is rubber bands, and I've talked about this before. It's just putting a rubber band on your wrist. This is something I think I learned from the Master Key System by Charles F. Hannell. But you put a couple rubber bands around your wrist, and every time you get that desire to do that thing you don't want to do, you snap the shit out of those rubber bands, okay? And it's going to hurt. And the point is you're going to remind yourself that this is something that's negative, something you want to get rid of, that's going to hurt you more, okay, than you snapping that rubber band on your wrist. And then you're going to start to program the other behavior, okay? I don't want to smoke, or I want to remember my dreams, or am I awake right now? Look at your hands, stupid. Are you awake right now? The reality checks, right? Attaching that with something like the rubber bands and various other triggers are key things that help me tap into dream realities, deeper trance states, and all of that sort of thing. Okay, and that's the type of stuff that I teach you. To do specifically is to tap into those deeper trance states in all of my books. Okay. And no, it's not like put a rubber band on your wrist and snap your wrist. I don't think I even teach that in a book. It's way different techniques than that. That's just one that I know works that I've used before also. Puts away chicken and knife. That's funny. You guys are hilarious. Okay, so yeah, the rubber band method works. There's a lot of other methods that work. Journaling works. Making sure that when you wake up, the first thing you think about, what was I just dreaming about? Okay, trying to revisit that dream space helps a lot. The other thing that helps a lot is meditation before and after going to sleep. So if you meditate close to bedtime, you're more likely to notice when you're entering the dream world and you're drifting down towards sleep. And then if you meditate in the morning when you first wake up, just drink some water, take your pee or whatever, and then meditate. If you meditate when you first wake up, you're more likely to want to go back into the dream state because you're tired, right? So don't do it laying down because you will go back to sleep, especially if you don't get out of the bed. But doing it right in the morning when you wake up is a great way to try to get back into those deep mental states very quickly, because your mind's very familiar with just being there. Okay, you just came from there. So those are some great tips to help you get down towards those deep states. I mentioned this a lot. One of the secret techniques I mention a lot is using the 45-degree angle. So if you have a recliner chair or something like that, use the recliner chair for meditation versus doing it sitting directly up, which can make people too active mentally to go deep. And then, try to avoid laying down completely or reclining too far, because then you'll just go to sleep. So you want to get to the point where you really can just relax and let go. And that's usually that 45-degree angle recline position. Okay. Secret sauce from ancient Egypt again. Awesome. So with that said, guys, if there's not any more questions, I'm going to wrap it up. I will wait a couple of minutes here, see if there's some more questions.
Can you pass me that cigarette?
Mm-hmm. It's barely, I don't think it's lit anymore. I was kind of just holding it, waving it around.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, I'm not seeing any questions, guys. So, take those tips, take those hints. Remember what archetypes really are. Okay, they're not, it's not about religion. It's not about believing. It's about understanding. Okay, it's about understanding. And when you understand that these all these deities and archetypes and stuff just represent various parts of the self or someone's definition of a various part of themselves, then you can go beyond that. Okay, you can go beyond the religious belief aspects and start to reach deeper into consciousness and self. Okay, what we're trying to understand here is consciousness, right? So with that said, guys, much love, and I will see you guys in the next one.